G'day, Steelers Nation. Welcome back to the Steel Curtain Network and also welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. Nothing's happening, right? That silence. Nothing at all. Nothing's going on. No huge moves. Nothing happened. The Steelers being the same old Steelers in the free agent period, just signing back their players, and nothing really is moving the needle. However, something did happen. At the time of recording, 1 hour ago, DK Metcalf has been traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. You guys are listening about a day later as I'm recording this. And even before this podcast, I did another podcast talking about the Steelers quarterback. And we will talk about the quarterback in this episode. And welcome back to Steelers Curtain Network and also Steelers Nation Australia. However, we do have some massive news, huge news for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we're going to talk about what domino is to fall next after the Steelers are trading for DK Metcalf. But let's catch everyone up. Everyone out there driving your cars, making food, heading off to work, waking up to this podcast, having a good time, talking Pittsburgh Steelers football, wherever you may be out in Steeler Nation. Let's have a bit of update. The update is the Steelers are trading for Seahawks receiver DK Metcalf for a 2025 pick, second round pick, and I believe a late round pick as well. That is the huge update via Twitter. It's just going all kinds of crazy around the internet. And yes, this is a massive move, something that I think Steelers fans are waiting for things to happen. It was a bit quiet. And yeah, the breaking news is from yesterday. Steelers are traded for Metcalf per ESPN Adam Schefter. Steelers trading a second round pick and will sign Metcalf to a 5-year, $150 million contract extension. That's a 2025 pick. And there's also a late round swap. That was via Alan Saunders and also via Adam Schefter. So from my experience being a Steelers fan for 23 years or whatever it may be, 23 years since 2002 and Tommy Maddox, Amos Zerouay back in the day, nothing overly happens really big like this in this free agent period. This is a massive move. Now, DK Metcalf, I do have some of his stats here, and he's played with the Seattle Seahawks since 2019, had 38 yards, 438 receptions, targets 726, yards 6,324, average 14.4, 48 TDs, and being a valuable part of the offense for the Seahawks for the last 6 years. First downs 284. He's fumbled 9 times, so that can happen. Hopefully, it doesn't happen in Pittsburgh, right? He had a pretty good, career so far in terms of yardage. He's had three times he's had 1,000 yards. He's been very close. He was only 8 yards last year away from 1,000. And in 2019 and 2021, he was 967 for 2021 and 900 yards in 2019. So he's gotten 900 yards each season he's played with Seattle. And he's been playing with Seattle since 2019. This guy will be an upgrade for us Steelers, for the Steelers receiver number 2, which the Steelers could not solve last year. They had to trade for Mike Williams for that point. And they didn't really use him in the offense, besides having a crazy last game-winning touchdown with his first pass. I believe first pass completion was for a touchdown versus the Commanders. This is huge. Like, the Steelers have now solved receiver number 2, and possibility the Pittsburgh Steelers may have created an idea around solving receiver number 1. And you're probably thinking, hang on a minute. Why would we need to solve receiver number 1? The Steelers already have George Pickens at number 1. But my question is out there to you guys out there in Steeler Nation, can the Steelers have 2 14s on the field? Now, from a numerical sense, you can't. You can't have a 14 George Pickens on offense, and you can't have a 14 DK Metcalf on the offense. It can only be 1 14. Will DK Metcalf choose another number? And, maybe could go the route of a single digit, possibly. Is there a spare number for him to pick up? Maybe it's a higher number like the Hines Ward at 86. I'm not saying he's going to wear 86, but maybe it's a high number like that. Possibly 89. I don't know. Could be a possibility, okay? On the other side, will George Pickens give up his number, being 14? I don't think he will. But something questions me here. I start to think about this. The Steelers are signing a massive contract. And not only do we have a receiver too, but DK Metcalf can be known as receiver number 1. Does that push down now George Pickens to be receiver number 2, heading into his final contract with the Steelers, I think this year? And there were talks about, were there going to be an extension? Could George Pickens be now traded away? This now creates a bit of a problem. And for us Steelers fans, though, it's kind of fun. It's interesting. It's like, oh my goodness, hang on a minute. They've just signed a massive, massive deal with this bloke on the screen right now. If you're watching me here on Steeler Nation Australia, with DK Metcalf. And now on the flip side of that, George Pickens is either saying, I can't wait to win. It'll be fun. It'll be super fun to see these two guys work on the same team. You know, one on one side of the field, and on the other side of the field is DK Metcalf. Two bruisers, two hard-hitting receivers, two really good hands receivers, 60-40 type of balls. You go up and snatch it out of the air, and you're good to go. On the flip side, though, however, is can the Steelers have both DK Metcalf and George Pickens on the field at the same time? Is that too much? 14, and do the Steelers now have a chance to trade away, get some picks back for the draft? And are they thinking about trading away George Pickens? I'm just saying it could be a possibility. I don't know if it's going to happen. At the same time, I did not see this happening 3 or 4 hours ago when I was having my breakfast, when I was playing Madness, chilling, and one of my friends sent me a text and said, you just went and got DK Metcalf for a 5-year deal. I'll let you guys hang on that for just a minute, and then we're going to talk about some other possibilities. I think it is a really big move and a good move by bringing in DK Metcalf to solve and help booster the receiver depth chart. I think there's more moves to be made as well in terms of going to the draft, in terms of also going to bringing in another free agent. But it's a massive move. It's huge. But my question is will the Steelers, will they trade or position themselves to get some picks back for George Pickens? Could be a possibility, right? Could be a possibility. Now, before we start to go to the ad break in a few short moments, I want to bring up one more possibility, is that we've been talking about Justin Fields. We've been talking about, there's the links now that Sam Darnold has been linked to the Steelers, that they're reaching out for a contract tomorrow. Sam Darnold, apparently from Diana Rossini, has been connected to the Steelers as well. Now, with this being said, they traded for a receiver. They need a quarterback. The Steelers right now have no quarterback on the roster. They simply cannot throw any passes to this receiver because they don't have a quarterback on the roster. Now, one thing that I start to think of is, will the Pittsburgh Steelers go out and bring back Justin Fields? I know he's looking to, and by this time that this podcast comes out, Justin Fields could be a Jet. I've heard the rumor he could be a Jet. The Steelers right now, they need to figure out and find out what's happening at the quarterback position. Because as we know it, DK Metcalf, he's a Steeler, and we have no quarterback. And the one thing is here too, is at the same time, Russell Wilson played for us last year. And yeah, it didn't end up well. It didn't end up well in the last 5 games skid. We lost them all. We played, bad football. There was some passes you want back. The one of the Browns, not the Browns game, the Chiefs game that I went to in Pittsburgh. There was Steelers versus Chiefs, and Russell Wilson, he threw the ball in the end zone. There was a 3-man coverage. See you later, picked off. It didn't end the right way. But now with this signing, and I say here, what's the next domino to fall? Because once we've now signed DK Metcalf after trading him, this could be a big possibility that Russell Wilson comes back to the Steelers to link up with his old receiver, that being DK Metcalf. They played together, I believe, from 2019 to 2021. They played 3 seasons together. And when I go to his stats, and I'm assuming that I think Russell Wilson played most of the time over there. So they had, 17 to about 20 something TDs together. So that's not an actual stat. I'm just going off what the stat was from 2019, 2020, and 2021. And I assume that Russell Wilson was there for the last 3 years, unless you had an injured game here or two. But they played together. They put yards together. They had big plays, and they had that connection from QB1 to receiver, that being DK Metcalf. So this really now opens the door for Russell Wilson to sign a contract for the next 2 or 3 years to be the bridge guy for the Steelers to go and get a franchise guy. Now, some of the Steelers fan base won't like that. They won't like that, but it's happening. Because just like yesterday when they traded for DK Metcalf, we didn't know that was going to happen. There was rumors out there, but until you see it happen, until you see Adam Schefter tweet that tweet, then you go, holy smokes, we've got DK Metcalf as the receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So before we go to break on Steel Curtain Network and also Steel Nation Australia for a tiny few moments, let's ponder that and want to come back and talk more about the quarterback position and now what's the next domino to fall, because who will it be? What quarterback will be playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2025? Will George Pickens be on the roster come July? And what's going to happen next? Are they going to sign Russell Wilson? Are they going to sign Justin Fields? Go to a quick break, guys, on Steel Curtain Network, and I'll be right back after this. Alrighty, Steel Nation, and we're back, and I can't believe how crazy that is. A few days ago, and I'm talking live about it now. Just imagine we're sitting in a bar, you're having your chicken wings. I have a mouthful of beer. I look at the news. I look up the NFL Network. The Pittsburgh Steelers have traded for DK Metcalf, 5-year contract, $150 million, $33 million per year, whatever it is. You'd almost spit your lunch out. You'd have a sip of your beer and go, did that just happen? Did that just happen? Yes, it did happen. Now, for this second half of the episode, we're going to talk about what's going to happen next. Steelers are traded for DK Metcalf. Who is the quarterback going to come in? I would prefer, to be honest, to see Justin Fields offer a contract. I know there is rumors out there that the New York Jets, Jets, are looking for a quarterback, and that might fit their offense by getting Fields. There's rumors around them offering him a contract. The Steelers are now playing that game where Fields, could possibly had been given a contract before the free agent period and before things got really crazy. But now maybe Justin Fields is just seeing what's out there, what's happening next, what is next for Justin Fields. And he's looking around saying, I want to test the market first. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him either. He was a bear. He had a 1-year rental really with the Steelers. He played pretty good. Things were, some fumbles here and there, but he played pretty good. And he's now looking around, what team can I go to? Where should I go to? Is it the Jets? Is it the Giants? Where should I go to being Justin Fields? Now, if the Steelers are serious about bringing him back, obviously you got to offer him more money on the contract and beat what the Jets are offering or what other teams are. And for me, I would like to see that. I would like to see Justin Fields offered a contract. As Danny Rossini says here, Steelers are now remaining interested in re-signing Justin Fields per source. So that looks like the direction of the team is going. Sign DK Metcalf, big 5-year deal, could be a possibility. They go and trade away George Pickens, and now they're bringing back Justin Fields to be quarterback number 1. Here's one big thing that I want to stress, and I even stressed this in my first episode that did not air because this was before the DK Metcalf signing. So I thought, you know what? Start again, talk again. I want to stress this. I want the Steelers to sign a quarterback, a QB1. I don't want them to sign 2 quarterbacks and go into July, into training camp and fight for QB1 status or whatever it may be. And it's like a quarterback competition. I don't want that. I want them to be confident and clear and say if they do sign Justin Fields or they do sign Russell Wilson or Sam Darnold, that is the guy. That's the guy for the next 3 or 4 years. And he's your Pittsburgh Steelers starting quarterback. Go into that locker room, or Justin Fields take it back. We're number 2, develop the Wildcat, develop, play action pass, develop RPOs. Maybe you use the offense a bit like how the Ravens do with Lamar Jackson. You've got two big tight ends on the roster. That is Darnell and Donald Parham Jr. You get Muth involved as well. I don't know if Connor Hayward's going to make this team. Steelers have to go and sign a running back. They probably will go and sign Warren. But this team could be a fun offense now with DK Metcalf being a physical player. And he's an outstanding player for the Seahawks for the last 6 years, getting 1,000 yards per year. This could be the point where the Steelers go, Justin Fields, look what we got. Here's your contract. You've got George Pickens, you've got Calvin Austin, you've got Roman Wilson, who we're yet to see as a Steeler. And that's going to be very exciting. And a vet like DK Metcalf now to show him the ropes and have a bit of fun. Our offense could be fun. We could be scoring 26 points, 27, 30 points per game. And with our defense playing lights out, it'll be a lot of fun. So maybe Justin Fields is the guy. That's what, you go that direction. Or on the flip side, Steelers reach out to Sam Darnold, which are meant to be offering them a contract or some thing in the next few days. Maybe Sam Darnold's a guy. He resurrected his career with the Vikings. And with the Vikings, he went, I believe, 12-4 or something similar. Kevin O'Connell won head coach of the year. Sam Darnold got them to the playoffs. Didn't play too well in the playoffs, but he had a great season with over 30-something touchdowns. I've got it here. He had 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 4,319 yards. Sam Darnold played all 17 games, and really, he resurrected his career from being, maybe labeled a bust or, he was a New York Jet and things didn't pan out. He also was a Carolina Panther. My apologies. The Vikings didn't go 12 wins. They went 14 wins and 3. So Sam Darnold, as a quarterback for the Vikings, he went 14-3 and got beat in the playoffs and didn't really work out. But he had a great regular season. So that could be a possibility. The Steelers would reach out and sign Sam Darnold. Hey, Sam, we've got Pickens, we've got DK Metcalf, we've got Calvin Austin, Speedy, who can play really good punt return. We've got some good tight ends that in Darnell, which I don't use enough. They've got a good tight end in Frymouth when he's getting more involved in this passing game. Go and sign a good running back. They only gave away the second round pick. They didn't give away the first round pick. Could there be a possibility the Steelers go and get a top running back in this draft? Could be, This could be a really fun offense for the Steelers to make some moves. And part of the next domino to fall is, will they sign a vet running back, or will they go into the draft and get some D-line help, or will they go in the draft and get some running back help? So Sam Darnold could be an option. I've heard their ideas around Daniel Jones could be an option. I just want whoever the Pittsburgh Steelers sign at quarterback over the next few days, next few weeks, and it's going to be a crazy, wild time to be a Steelers fan, man. Even how wild it was a few hours ago, the Steelers now trading for DK Metcalf. I would like to see the Steelers be confident, trade or sign or, re-sign their quarterback and say, ex-quarterback, Justin Fields, you are now QB1. Go and lead your team to victory. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see anything else. I don't want to see a quarterback competition with QB2. You sign QB1, you know your role, and you have QB2, QB3, and then you build the roster through that way. So this is crazy. This is crazy big news to be a Steelers fan. And now the dominoes are starting to fall. What happens next? Like I said, George Pickens could be on the way out. What happens next with, I did even comment about Myles Garrett. I'm super furious about that. Myles Garrett signed a massive deal with the Browns. But at the same time, he said he was walking away. Here's the other news I wanted to bring up. He said he was walking away from the team. He didn't want to be a Cleveland Brown. And next minute he said all these big speeches about, I want to go win championships. I want to go somewhere else. He pretty much said one big F you to the Browns. And then money talks. And when money talks, he comes back, getting $40 million a year. And now he's back in the AFC North. He's back with the Browns. And we all know as Steelers fans, the Browns are not winning anything. They are not competing in the playoffs. They're not competing in championships. They are a dumpster fire of the NFL. Maybe if not like the worst NFL franchise right now are the Browns. They have no real direction at quarterback, and he's re-signed this big ticket item just to come back to get $40 million per year in a 6-year contract. So they're going that way in that sense by signing Myles Garrett. I think it's really dumb for him to, say all these things about, I'm leaving Cleveland next minute It's not. It's not Cleveland to Canton. It's Cleveland to winning championships. But we all know. We all know that the Cleveland Browns aren't winning championships. They've only been to the playoffs, I think, one time in the last 20 years, and they beat the Steelers because pretty much Big Ben was throwing interceptions and there was turnovers, and our defense didn't play too well, but the game didn't start very well. You guys know that. You guys already know what happened when they threw the ball over our head, and James Conner and Big Ben looked at each other and said, "Will you pick it up?" Nah, you pick it up. So that's all they've really got. All they got now is they're coming. And if I'm a Browns fan, I'm furious. I'm like, Myles Garrett said, "See you later, peace out," and now he's back because of the money. But to end the show, guys, and thank you for checking out G'day Steelers Nation on Steelers Nation Australia and also Steel Curtain Network. The big news is really DK Metcalf and kind of what happens next. Signed to a 5-year contract. Is this now the door opening or slightly opening for Russell Wilson to come back to sign a 2-year, 3-year deal? Is this now also the opening? Will George Pickens be on the trading block because you can't have 214s on the roster? Or will this be a crazy offense where you have DK Metcalf on one side, George Pickens on the other? George Pickens, I don't think he'd give up his number, and you'd see DK Metcalf wear another different number, 89, 81, I don't know. He'd wear a different number compared to 14. So there's going to be a few things like that in terms of the next domino to fall. What happens next? I'm going to be here. I'm refreshing my Twitter all week just to see what Adam Schefter is saying. And I'm going to be like, oh my goodness, we did this. So this is now the exciting time. Before the last few weeks hasn't been that exciting as a Steelers fan. There's been a lot of rumor, but something actually happened. And that something was trading your second round pick this year, 2025, for DK Metcalf and having a contract for the next 5 years. So one big shout out to the organization. One big shout out also to DK Metcalf. I wish you all the best in 2025. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch you as a Steeler. It's going to be a lot of fun to cheer this offense on. And hopefully we find out soon who's going to be our quarterback in 2025. Thank you, Steeler Nation. I'll see you guys later on. And thank you again for enjoying another episode of G'day Steelers Nation on Steel Curtain Network and also on Steelers Nation Australia. What is the next domino to fall after trading for DK Metcalf for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Here we go, Steelers. Here we